Life is a dream. I just want to apologize for the wind. I'm gonna make sure that you can hear everything I say before I upload this. Life is a dream. I'm not gonna put any edits in this video. That's probably gonna change as I get further along in my YouTube journey. But for now, I'm not gonna edit this one. This is one of the foundational realizations and understandings that I really needed to have in order to build enough conviction to believe that manifestation and enlightenment and spiritual truth is something that's not only achievable but possible and worth pursuing. The fact that life is a dream. This is either going to be a confirmation for you of something that you already know or have already realized, or it's going to be something that you realize during this video. If this video is not meant for you, you won't make it through the whole video anyway. Have you realized life is a dream? If you already knew life was a dream before you clicked on this video, either give it a like or comment under the video. I already knew this before I clicked it. I clicked it for confirmation. Before spiritual enlightenment, we kind of look at dreams as a state you go into when you close your eyes and fall asleep. We associate dreams with sleep. We associate the state of dreaming with sleep, having our physical eyes closed. And because we learn to have this understanding of dreams, we wake up and we don't look at this reality we experience while we're awake as a dream. And so what happens is on this journey, on this spiritual journey, at some point you realize that this waking reality, quote unquote waking reality, at some point you realize that it starts to resemble a dream. And that's after you are able to undo the differences that we perceive this reality to have from the state we find ourselves in when we're physically asleep. And so I'd like to ask some rhetorical questions that you can answer on your own or answer in the comments. And like I said, there's no editing or script, so I'm going to pause sometimes and think about what I would like to say next. But since this is such a fundamental and important, significant realization for me, I'd like to ask these questions. And if you're like me, you've already answered them, but if you're on your way, you can answer them on your own or in the comments. The first question is, when it comes to this reality that we find ourselves in, the one that us humans share, particularly when we wake up out of our dreams, where are we and how did we get here? And who am I and how did I get here? That's the first question. Who am I? Or what am I? And how did I end up here in this realm? Like ultimately and fundamentally, what occurred and how exactly did this existence come about? Obviously, some of us have heard scientific explanations for the sperm race and sexual reproduction. But beyond that, how is any of this possible? How is existence itself possible? Was there ever a time where nothing existed, including nothingness? Including nothingness. Was there ever a time where nothing existed, including nothingness? And if so, how could that be? And so obviously, just with that one question spawned several other questions simultaneously. Several paradoxes spawned simultaneously just from that one question. Which is why it's rhetorical, because each time I ask a question, several other questions will spawn simultaneously due to the implications of the question. Because of the nature of this discussion, I'm not going to count the questions. I'm just going to ask them. The next question is, where are we going when we go to sleep? What's happening when we go to sleep? What is sleep? What is dreaming? What's happening with our consciousness as we fall asleep? What are these movies that play very vividly after we close our eyes and lay down for however long, and we drift into this state of consciousness where it appears we don't necessarily control everything with our conscious mind? If you're like me, you know about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. So my next question is, what is the subconscious mind, and what is the difference between the subconscious mind and the conscious mind? The mind that's here present right now, experiencing life. What's the difference between that mind and the subconscious mind, which seems to be operating in the background? Without my conscious say. Breathing, dreaming, daydreaming, imagining. Especially after I reach a state of relaxation where I'm completely letting go of my grip on what it is that I'm thinking about. Who's doing this? And if the answer to that question is subconscious mind, who is that? Is that me? That goes back to the question, who am I? As you can see, if you're paying attention right now, one question spawns several other questions simultaneously, due to the implications of that question and the implications of the answer to that question. So that goes back to me saying that this is a fundamental question that I had to answer, fundamental realization I had to come to, that life is a dream, because the moment I asked myself, what is reality? Who am I? Everything that I thought I understood about reality became a big question mark. And I believe that that is the true start of my journey when it comes to spirituality. The more I asked myself these existential questions, the more I started to loosen my grip over or of this false sense of knowing where I'm at and who I am and what I'm doing here. And I started to realize that I actually have no idea how I got here, what I'm doing here, what the point is. I started to realize that I actually don't have an actual solid understanding of this reality that I've found myself in. And that opened a door for me to realize that this waking reality is very similar to the dream realm, because what I realize is that in my dreams, I have no true sense of self. I have no true sense of past. In my dreams, I often live as though I have no storyline and I have no memories of a past of a past at all. I have no memories of a history of events and circumstances to govern my state of mind. And so I find that in dreams, I feel a million times more free than I do in waking physical reality. But the more I asked these questions, the more I came to the realization that I don't actually know what I thought I knew. And so slowly, my past started to fade. I started to wake up out of my sleep with a much less solid sense of self, a much more fluid and flexible sense of self, just like in my dreams. I started to realize that the assumptions that I carry about others, individuals outside of me, that appear to be outside of me, I started to realize that more and more they're starting to seem like figments of my imagination. They're starting to seem like very elusive outside versions of myself. I started to develop a solipsistic mindset towards other people, meaning I started to look at everyone as if they are me, and that no one could possibly actually be outside of me. I started to see another resemblance between this reality and the dream reality, which is that my assumptions and my beliefs very much dictate different circumstances and orders of events. I started to realize that my emotions have a lot to do with what happens to me and the state of my reality. I started to realize that I can't find myself anywhere in this physical reality other than either being everything or nothing. No in between. Meaning I can't point at myself. I can't point at one thing and say that that's me, including my eyes, my body, my brain. So with this question, just the original question alone, what is life? Is this a dream? Is it possible that this reality could be just as much a dream as the reality I see when I close my eyes? It triggered a deconstruction of all of the conditioning that I received growing up. And so after experiencing this deconstruction over a period of time, I have found myself in a dream state, even with my eyes open, in the physical realm where things seem solid and permanent and real. And I eventually came to the realization that I'm living in a dream, which, if you ask yourself what is a dream, then you realize that a dream is like a movie, like a simulation, like an enactment of a circumstance. And believe it or not, this led to the realization that this must all be coming from within me. My inner self, my subconscious mind, my higher self. Dare I say God. So I'm going to end the video there. I will continue this thought, this stream of consciousness. I'll continue it in later videos. You can call me Silent. Silent Divinity. Call me Silent. I look forward to expanding on spiritual topics more in the future. But the first couple videos that I upload, I would like to be foundational, fundamental, and introductory. I would like to kind of lay a foundation for the content that I'll be posting. But this isn't scripted or edited right now, and I don't own any of the information I'm speaking about. I'm literally letting it flow through me and out of me. So if you want to share any thoughts in the comments, go ahead. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you for listening.